Hey babes, welcome to Your Mom's Best Friends podcast, where we come together as a tribe and share the good, the bad, and the what in the actual fuck moments of motherhood, all while building our dream life. I'm your host, Brandy Ververs, mama to two littles, Army veteran, and business enthusiast. I'm obsessed with empowering mamas to live their life with their babies in tow while also building their dreams. If you're ready for a good laugh or to get inspired, grab your cup of coffee because you're in the right place.
What is up, you guys? I am really excited about this episode, and I feel like I say that every time because honestly, I really am. I'm excited for every episode, but this one in particular because I have my girlfriend Alethea on, and she is the owner of Body Sweet Denver. And if you don't know, it is a body sculpting business. And not only is she a mama in business, but she brings so much to the table in what she does. Not only is it aesthetically helping women feel better about themselves, but she brings the whole nutritional value and physical exercise also to the table. It's not just about what you look like on the outside, it is about what you like, how you feel on the inside, and how's your mental mindset around your body image. And it's just really interesting how she has incorporated her love and passion for what she does, but also as a mother, she, teaches her kids how to make right choices and stuff like that. And I feel like, especially with me and my youngest, that can be really challenging and really difficult. And she just makes it sound so simple when she talks about making it more of a lifestyle than making hard choices and unlearning bad habits. So, if you are ready to not only hear her story as a mother in business and why she does what she does, but also, the kid factor, let's go ahead and hop on in. What is up, you guys? I am super excited about today's episode because one, I have my girlfriend Alethea here, and she is a business owner for the Body Suite of Denver. If you guys saw my story this morning, I had posted a reel about a service that I had received from her. We will get into a little bit of what she does, but kind of just explain to everyone who you are and why you wanted to come onto the pod.
That is a great question. What a cute introduction. I wanted to come on the pod because I feel like the last couple years in my business, I have just kind of kept my head down and worked on actually building the business, furthering my education. And I felt like I was doing a disservice because one, no one really knows what body sculpting is, and two, no one knows that we're the best at it.
Yeah.
So to really become the authority in our industry.
Love that.
Yeah. We do take a health approach to all of our services. And that's so important to me because in the aesthetics industry, I feel like there's just a big range of like unhealthy and healthy. And I'm talking about like self-hate approach and a self-love approach.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think that in our industry, particularly, we are guilty of clawing on a woman's self-hate for herself and then
kind of taking advantage of that.
And using that like, you need this, like lose 15 pounds in 6 weeks, like summer bikini body, and that's kind of telling you like you won't feel good unless you do this. And it's just this negative loop. So
well, first of all, I love the like bad bitch energy of, you know what, like we run the game and people need to know about it. So I absolutely love that. But also the fact that you're right. And that's what I kind of wanted to convey in my post this morning about you is that like, yes, you're doing stuff aesthetically for your body, but like it's also about what you feed your body, the physical exercise you give your body, all of those things encompassing
a healthy lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not just
Exactly.
about what you look like on the outside. It's also about like how you feel on the inside. How do you feel your day to day? You know, how's your mentality around your body image? All of that. So I love that you bring everything to the table for your clients.
You're so sweet. Thank you. I'm glad you recognize that, because that is like our big mission, is to really stand out. My journey into body sculpting is that I actually had gotten a treatment first. And I honestly, coming from a fitness background, I was a little hesitant and almost like embarrassed. And I went in and I was just so blown away of like, first, like, wow, like it worked. Second, like I didn't understand how. And I just felt like more people needed to understand that this was something that can enhance you, and it's not meant as like an easy trick.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
An easy fix. And I was like, how cool would it be if I could really bridge that gap in between really invasive surgeries and working out? Because I feel like either someone will go very extreme and go under the knife, or they'll just really try and do it by themselves. But there's this really soft spot with lasers and other things that can really help you get to your goals without making drastic choices, like going under surgery, which can be very dangerous, which we have clients that do that. We do also post-operative care, but I feel like for myself, that's not anything that I would do personally.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a mom, and I just would feel so guilty if something happened to me because of something I did that I didn't absolutely need to do.
Oh, 100%. It's super, super scary,
Like-
right? Like when I got my boobs done, literally I kissed my kids and
Goodbye.
I was like, yeah, I was like saying like last minute thoughts, right? Like just to like, in case, because you never know when going under, like you literally are put to sleep and like you may not wake up, right? Like it's like 1 in a million, but like that is a possibility, right? And so it's honestly like why I came to you for my service, and we're going to get into kind of like what you did and kind of your thoughts of how everything went. But so I had went because one, I was seeing your content all over. I know I had like messaged you like a year ago and I was like, I need this. And then finally I just scheduled it. We made time and we went for it. But for me, it's my midsection, and it's the loose skin, and after having like 2 babies, right, it's the confidence that, you know, I am working out, I am eating healthy. Now am I like 100%? Like no, and I feel like that's just balance, right? But it's that, and I even went to like my plastic surgeon and I was like, what can you do about my belly button? And he was like, oh, like little lipo. And I was like, ooh, like that's kind of like scary, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, they had like those huge like laser treatments that would like tighten the skin, but you would still have like a ridiculous amount of downtime. And, you know, as a busy mom, like I just don't have that. And so I was like, okay, let's go try this, right? And so the service that I got, what were those? Can you explain a little bit about the 3 things that I did and what that does for your body?
Yeah, so when we had you in, we did our signature treatment. We are revising our menu, but at this time it was our signature treatment. And really, it's a combination of 3 different treatments: cavitation, wood therapy, and radiofrequency. Cavitation is a high frequency treatment, and what it does is it encourage the lipids and the cholesterol to release from the fat cells. And then with wood therapy, we have these tools that are made of this Colombian wood, and they're really created to shape and sculpt the body. So when everything's really soft from the cavitation, we go in manually and break it up. The last thing that we do is the radio frequency, which is a temporary thermal damage to the connective tissues that helps tighten the skin. None of what we do is invasive. So this is all like the last 10% that you do. Our sessions do work best as a series. Someone who is in the gym, in like with, you know, like they're relatively eating really well, would benefit from our treatments. Someone who's starting off that needs like a pick me up would benefit from our treatments. Like I said, even like post-operative care would benefit our treatments. We see a lot of mothers postpartum. We always tell women after they're done breastfeeding, that's the best time to do it. When you're breastfeeding burns up so many calories. That alone should help slim down the body naturally. And when you try and cut down so many calories so quickly, it actually impacts your milk supply. So I don't know if you breastfed or not, but I feel like that's a huge thing. It's like you don't want anything to stop your milk supply. So we really just ask moms after they're done breastfeeding, or if they're not entirely breastfeeding, to avoid our services and just wait.
Okay, that's a good disclaimer to know. Okay, so we're gonna backtrack a little bit. What you kind of touched on it, but like, so I know when we had our previous discussion, you said that, you know, within the Latin community, you usually have like these certain stipulations. Like growing up, what kind of I guess like things were you told either about your body or, you know, the way that you should be eating as a Latina? Like what?
Yeah.
Explain that.
So growing up was really funny because at the time, I love my family, but at the time you just don't know what you don't know. And I feel like Hispanics have a tendency to like find your biggest insecurity, and that's like your nickname. Like, like my brother was really overweight and his name was like Gordito. Like, but when you get older, like you don't understand how that can like kind of traumatize you. And then also a lot of our food traditionally is fried and really heavy with dairy, and it's just not good for you at all. And if you don't eat all your food on the plate, you're being disrespectful. And if you leave someone's house and you don't eat, you're being disrespectful. I remember just I honestly didn't understand that I was overweight until a little bit later, but I had just these really bad habits, which I thought that was just normal, you know. And it was eye-opening becoming an adult, realizing that like I had probably eaten like a handful of vegetables in my life. Like, and if it was like an avocado or something, but like I had never eaten like kale, spinach, you know, even really broccoli. Like, and if I did, it had like cheese on it or something. And so growing up for me, my mom was a single mom, and it was mostly out of convenience. So anything that was quick and fast. So we did a lot of fast food. We did a lot of frozen food, and like traditional Puerto Rican food is all deep fried. And so I was heavy set, and it took a lot of mental undoing to understand how to look at food differently and, you know, not use it as a way to celebrate all the time. Like, oh, I'm doing good. Like, let me just like pig out on a bunch of tacos and not live off of fast food.
So what is your lifestyle like now? Like, how do you find that balance of like celebrating, right? I'm sure like you guys celebrate certain things, certain holidays, or, you know, maybe you have like certain customs for birthdays or stuff like that. Like, how do you find balance in, you know, embracing your customs and your heritage, but
initially when I started my health journey, I was a little bit crazy about this. I immediately like, have you seen those shows, those weight loss shows where they just like toss everything out of the fridge and it's really dramatic? I went over to my mom's house and like, don't eat this, and like, do you know who Monsanto is? And just started freaking out on everyone. And I wouldn't even go out to eat like on a date or anything because I was like, I don't know what they're cooking in this. And I just went so extreme. One thing about me, I'm gonna do it or I'm not gonna do it at all. And so I have now came back to a middle. So now my oldest one, he's 9. he went through that with me when he was little. So he's not really big on sugar. So even at a birthday party or something, he's not really about the cake. Sometimes we'll order donuts for him. My 3-year-old is the one who's like obsessed with sugar
Yeah.
because I'm more lenient now. I don't let them have it daily, but I do let them have it. One thing you'll find out is your kids, you don't have to worry about your kids. It's everyone else's kids. And so they trade lunches. You know, they go over to someone else's houses and you just have to educate them. And same with myself. Like I know what the right thing is. And, you know, if I'm in a place and there's a bunch of food, I'm not, you know, maybe I eat before, or maybe I just have like a little bit just to be kind to the person. And that's one thing when you eat really healthy, sometimes people get turned off by it. And I've been that person, and it almost makes some other person feel really bad. And so if someone makes something, I'll just try a little bit, or a client brings me something for my birthday. I have a client, she's amazing. Her name is Rachel, and she always brings me chocolate dipped Oreos. And I will have a little bit, and I'll like I have a little freezer, and I'll just have a little bit. So I have a lot more discipline to do that. But initially I didn't. So I went really crazy and just had to get rid of everything. So it's taken a bit, girl.
Yeah, no, that balance is hard. Like hearing you explain your story, it just reminds me of that time that I did a show, and it was literally extreme because it was over the summer when I was prepping, and so I was like, I'm not
I didn't know you competed.
Right after I had my daughter, it was like my way to like get back. You know, I was like, I need to set a hard date, like this is what we're doing. And so did that, and I didn't go to any barbecues. Birthday parties, like people would offer me cake and I'd be like, no, I'm good. Like I literally can't, you know, like literally counting every single calorie that goes in and goes out at that point. And so it was really, really extreme. It was, you know, grocery shopping was literally meat and veggies. You know, it wasn't anything extra because I didn't have that discipline. I could not be tempted. And so that is, I love that for you, and I love that for your kids, and how you are kind of like just incorporating a balance, like a little bit here, a little bit there, but like we're not going to veg out. And so how important is it to you as a mom to instill these beliefs in your children, whether it's body positivity or, you know, being really conscious of the things that you are consuming? One, how important is that to you? And two, how do you do that? Because I know like my 4-year-old is sugar obsessed. And so for me to be like, okay, well, how do you say these things and make it like healthy, right? Versus like talking about the repercussions, gaining weight, you know, bringing in that like body image issues.
And it's interesting because they come to me in the office sometimes, and so I always wonder about that, if somehow this is going to make a negative impact on them. But I've learned that kids will not do anything you say; they do what you do. So it's important to really practice what you preach. So if they've never really like, they just watched me. They've never like seen me do something that would be like, I tell them not to do, as like eating out. Like, I don't think my son's ever seen me like eat a whole donut, or I don't want that. And it's so funny because he just like, he just knows like sugar free. Like my mom likes sugar free things, and he just feels like he needs to be like that too. The baby, I think, eventually might get that, but my 9-year-old really, it's so shocking to me. I don't have to force him not to stay away from candy. Like he knows how to control himself. He has a whole candy bag, like, you know, it collects from all the holidays, birthday, Christmas, and I'll have a few pieces, and I end up having to throw away this giant bucket of candy. And we work out on Wednesdays at the rec center, and I'm slowly starting to just make it like a normal thing,
like a lifestyle.
Exactly. The hardest thing to do is to unlearn bad habits. So I feel like you should just go at it and never teach the bad habit, because I just would hate for him to not only it's not even how you look, it's how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
I remember growing up in school trying to take those like state tests,
Mm-hmm.
just feeling like shit. Can I
Yeah.
say shit?
Yeah, you can
Just
say shit.
feeling like just feeling like shit because like I had like a Pop-Tart for breakfast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I didn't know why. I was just
Uh-huh.
like, I just don't feel like great. Even
Yeah.
this morning.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, and so I just always make sure that he has a really good meal in the morning and I pack his lunch and then we'll have a good dinner. And I that's how I kind of control what he
Okay.
eats as far as like when he's not around me,
Mhm.
but he kind of just knows. And I know that you know this, but like after you haven't eaten something in a while, it doesn't taste good.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Like I don't know if you've eaten like anything like from the gas station that's like
Uh-huh.
super sweet, like a donut. You're
Yeah.
like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
This is nasty. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't even want to eat this.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of like, I don't like this. This gives me like, it makes my stomach hurt,
Yeah.
my head hurts. I
Yeah.
don't feel good.
Yeah.
So I feel like because he's never been exposed to it, that habit has never started. So
Mhm.
he just kind of doesn't know.
Yeah.
But he will tell people like, you shouldn't be eating that.
Yeah.
Like they've never had like a whole soda to
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
At the most like a flavored sparkling water. And it's so funny because as a kid I've tried sparkling water and I was like, this is gross.
So, it was like salty for some reason.
I was like,
right?
I cannot drink this.
Yeah.
I thought, and now I'm like, that's enough flavor for me.
Yeah.
So I am hopeful because how much work it took to really be at where I'm at now, and I still battle it. It's always like this thing.
Mhm.
I love my mom so much, but she didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't.
She
know.
didn't know.
Yeah.
I think back in that time, it was like the 90s, 2000s, where like yo-yo diets were a
Mhm,
thing.
mhm.
Like a salad was like iceberg lettuce,
Yep.
croutons, ranch.
Yeah.
There was a lot of these like abs in 3 days, VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Like the outlook on fitness and health was just scary.
Yeah.
It was like you have to be super skinny and not eat.
Yeah.
And so my mom, I watched her. I would eat all this stuff, but I would watch her like not eat.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I even went through that.
Yeah.
Like when I tell you I realized that I was overweight, it
Uh-huh.
wasn't until I was about 15. And I've told this story before, but do you remember those like long sleeve thin Aeropostale kind of shirts and Hollister shirts that
Uh-huh.
were really popular
Uh-huh.
that you had to wear like 2 or 3
Yep.
tank tops or
Yeah.
whatever under? But I remember
2, 3 polos. Like, why were we wearing 3 polos at a time?
yeah, but I remember they were like pretty thin. They
Yeah.
weren't like this material.
Yeah.
And I was wearing one. I got one for Christmas. It was like a heather gray with like a yellow leathering, and I was so excited to wear it to school. And I was in the 9th grade, and I went to school, and this girl named Rachel comes up to me.
Outer
Yeah.
out.
Rachel C. We'll say that. She was like laughing kind of at me, and she's like, "You have love handles," and I was like, okay, I don't know what that is at
Yeah.
this time. And I was like, okay. And I just like continued my day. And I went back on our home computer and I like looked it up, and it means like the fat hanging over the top of your jeans. And I went in the mirror and I looked, and at that time, you know, I had like the little girl bra. Like I developed a little later, but I had like a little bit of boobs at that time, and then the back was really tight. But I felt more secure that way, but it was making the top of my back and the lower of my back bulge out. And I was like, I'm fat.
Oh, okay.
And I was like so shocked.
Yeah.
And I ate ice cubes for 5 days straight until like I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd never seen my mom do that, but I saw her not eat. And
because it tricks your body.
Yeah.
Like you're chewing, you're crunching on things. Like I've heard of this, and one of my girlfriends, she actually used to do that.
It's so sad. And I was like this little 14, 15-year-old girl really like doing this, and my mom had no idea.
Yeah.
And then like I found out like if you take laxatives, you can make your stomach flat. Like I didn't know that what that would do to you. I only like successfully did that 2 times because I was like, I'm shitting my pants
Yeah.
at school.
Yeah. What's worse?
Yeah. I was like, what is happening? Like, okay. But then I would stop eating lunch at school and I just felt embarrassed to eat in front of other people. And looking back, I was not even over, like, I was a little overweight, but in my mind, I was like, I'm fat. Like, I don't want to show myself. I would start just wearing different clothes. I never wore that shirt again. And my mom was really upset because she really thought I wanted that shirt for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I never told her why. I just didn't wear it again.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, your poor like little self, like your little self. Oh my gosh, and that's so sad that but it was a thing of the 90s, right? Because same thing, single mom, we're growing up eating McDonald's. My mom, like, she worked at a convenience store and she worked at Pizza Hut. So those were like the two things that we ate all the time.
You're like, breadsticks, bring them home.
Yep, exactly. Like any pizza like that was left over that nobody like got, like she brought it home. So like we were eating that all of the time. And so horrible diet growing up. And have you seen that meme that's like, you'll never be as skinny as you something about like you never be as skinny as something about like you thought you were fat, but you were actually skinny, and you're never going to be that skinny again as an adult, right? And it's so true because like I remember having those thoughts, especially in like 9th through 12th grade, like, oh my gosh, like I don't have boobs, or I'm fat, and I was like 120 pounds maybe.
Thinking about that is like so sad.
Yeah, and it's just like the magazines, the TV we watched, right? The like, I don't want to say bullying, but like kind of, right? That, people would say certain things to you and it would be like, okay. And I love the 180 that our culture has taken with, being like, okay, like fitness, like girls with muscles, like that is okay. Like feeding your body. Like it's better to consume 2,300 calories than it is 1,000 calories, like as long as it's all in the right, like nutritional, all that stuff, right? So let's go ahead and dive into some questions, any ones that we didn't cover. Why do you think taking care of our bodies and our mindset is so important as moms?
Yeah, I feel like that goes back to that infamous quote. It's like you can't pour out of an empty cup. And even last night, I had worked all day and I had just like an hour to give my kids, and I like quickly put them to bed. And I was like, Mommy needs to take a bath. Like, I need to relax. Like, I can't take care of you unless I'm taking care of myself. And my son didn't say anything after, but I saw myself getting short with him and impatient. And I was like, that is a sign I need to step away and go do something for myself, even though there's 100 things I could be doing right now. And I feel that as a woman and as a mom, we are so accommodating that we always put our needs last. And I feel like we're almost taught that. So, like, when you see, like, your mom serving the table, she eats last, or, like, not at all. There's nothing, you're like, oh, I'm fine. I would say that doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, no.
So you need to take care of yourself and not feel guilty about it. And I love my mom to death, and I look up to her in so many ways because I've seen her change, but she is now learning, like, I am important too. And I told her this the other day because she's struggling through her own personal things. And I said, would you treat someone else like this? And she started getting glassy-eyed and wanted to cry because there's no way she would ever tell someone like, no, you cannot eat this.
Yeah.
Like, you do not look good enough for this. Like, you do not deserve to be here. And she just was like, wow. And, she's got a facial and she allowed herself these things that she's wanted to do for herself, but for whatever reason feels so bad because for many, many, many years, it's been ingrained, like, you don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, your life is everyone else's life. And I am grateful that I have went out and found information and other women who inspire me that have told me this, put yourself first. Like, you need, men's mental health is, I'm such a woman's woman, and I forget I have 2 boys, and I am now realizing like there's just this huge thing, like a huge need for men's mental health. And that really starts as a parent, and making sure that like he knows that by me taking care of myself, like he should take care of himself. So I feel like that's also important, because I think he'll be a parent or a partner or whatever he is, and I want to never have him feel like I felt at like my point of burnout, where I'm like bawling in the car and just like I can't do this. And I don't want to ever feel like that, because I've been there. I had my oldest very young, and I was doing all these things, and if I would have just relaxed a little bit and said no to a lot of things that didn't maybe service me, and they were maybe out of guilt because I didn't want to make the person feel bad, or I didn't want to seem mean, I would have saved myself so much stress and energy.
No, I am that girl that's just like, I'm gonna go get a haircut. I gotta go get my nails done. Like, I am that person.
Like,
because
too much now, though.
Maybe
I'm like,
too much.
Treat yourself.
Yeah, no, literally. I posted a meme the other day that was like, me treat myself, and then it was like, my husband, absolutely not, because it is. I do a lot, and maybe to a fault, but
you're like, I deserve this.
Yes. I'm like, my kids drove me crazy today, I'm gonna go do something, and then it becomes like an everyday thing. But yeah, no, I feel like so many, especially because I'm really connected to my mom friends, and there are a lot of women out there that have that guilt, and it is so hard to get them to do anything for themselves. My sister being one of them. It's really hard for her. And then it's like, it's getting to the point now where she's like, okay, like, I'll go out to lunch with my girlfriends, and like, her kids are older. I think her last 2, which was a set of twins, I think they're going to be like 15 this year. And so, and her oldest, I think, how old is he now? I don't even know the ages of my nephews. I think they're like 24, 25.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah. And so she went through all these years just like in it and like drowning, right? So having the luxury and, the permission to go and do things for yourself, I think is really, really important for moms these days. Do you and your spouse agree with this type of parenting style?
So when you sent that over to me, I was thinking, because I don't think that we've ever had a disagreement about anything as far as parenting. He's very fit himself, and I think he loves that I'm like that as well. He always compliments me. He's like, I love the mom you are.
Oh,
okay. I don't want to say brags, but he definitely recognizes and shares to other people, like, yeah, she's always making sure we're eating really good and the kids are not exposed to this.
Yeah.
And I feel that he trusts me and he kind of just goes with it. He is a great dad, but I feel like his role is more as like provider and just support and security. And I'm kind of like in the trenches and, doing all the things with them.
Yeah.
And I like that, honestly. I don't want to admit this, but I'm trying to relax and let go, but I'm a little bit love being in control about those things. And my babies are just like my babies.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, they're not going to have that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's never really come to that. But I think he's part of why I'm more relaxed, because this man has a 6-pack all year long somehow and eats like shit.
Yeah.
And me, I'm like counting my protein and making sure I'm not like going over my sugar. And I'm like, shit, like I accidentally ate something and I'm like bloated. I'm like,
yeah.
And he's just
the
like,
men's metabolism, it's a phenomenon. I don't understand it.
It's not.
So he never got a dad bod while you were pregnant?
No.
Oh my
no.
gosh.
He's annoying. He'd probably love if I showed you his bod right now, but he's like, he looks very ripped. Like, I don't want to say bodybuilder, but he's like very, very
Muscular.
genetically blessed.
Oh, nice.
He could miss the gym for like 2 weeks
Yeah.
and go like a couple of days, and he's just like,
yeah.
And then he's like, I'm feeling flat, and I'm like sitting there like evil eyeing
Yeah.
him, like you feel flat,
Yeah.
okay? And I'm like,
You
what
feel fat, I feel fat. It's
yeah,
fine.
I'm like, what do you think about me? Like, I think there was one time he did kind of tell me I was like gaining a little bit of weight, and he never did again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm like really working through this because in the last 3 years, like I said, I've been like really grinding and working on building body speed. And there has been a lot of times where I didn't eat all day. And trying to refine that balance again, because before I had like 2 hours a day to go to the gym and we're, just life was just more relaxed. And now I'm like in the office, and we moved into a bigger office, and we have some people now that are working with us, and there's so many moving pieces that I'm like, wow, I didn't eat today. Like all I had was like, I hate to say this, but like a coffee.
Yeah.
And so I've been keeping meals in the office. I have like non-perishable snacks like nuts. I do prep at the house, and those things really do help because I feel bad. I'm like telling everyone you need to eat, and then meanwhile, sometimes I don't eat either.
Yeah, no, and I totally get that because I'm there currently, like trying to figure out how to do this, how to get all my digital products out, but like still pick the kids up by like 2, right? And so it's like you're trying to do all of these things, and like if I'm being honest, like I haven't worked out. I mean, like I've been to the gym like once a week since the new year. Like that's not gonna do it,
Yeah.
And so trying to figure out where I can squeeze in that time because it is only an hour a day or like an hour and a half a day. Like we have that time, but I'm currently in that transition of figuring out when is the best time I can eat, between things that I'm doing, making sure that I'm also eating at home, right? Because sure, you can go to Wendy's from point A to point B, right? And that will feel that I have eaten, but it's not nutritional. Like it's not going to serve its purpose. And so trying to figure out how to eat a lunch at home and when I can do that and all of that stuff. So it's definitely a balance, and you have to really just try and figure it out.
There's I feel like the most important things is getting like some protein right away in the morning. And also at least some movement, like 15 minutes a day. Like if all I have is 15 minutes, I still go. And I feel so silly like clocking in to the gym because I have to drop the kids off and then leaving 15 minutes later. I'm like, I just went, but it sets that habit in and then you don't feel as bad. And I feel like it's a mental thing for me. There's 100%. Actually studies if you work out, I think twice a day for 15 minutes, they show just as much improvement as someone who works out 2 to 3 times a week for 2 hours over 6 weeks.
Okay.
So it's all about consistency, not how hard you're hitting it a few times.
Yeah. And I think that's something that I have to really, really work on because for me, it's like I'll look at the clock and I'll be like, I only have an hour and a half, and it's like I don't want to be rushed, or like I don't want to go if this is what I can only do.
3 workouts and just get in, get out.
I should,
because you have to kind of change your relationship with the gym a little bit too, because I loved being in there, going to put my stuff away, going and take a picture. I don't even know what I was doing, probably just sitting on my phone, going to stretch, then figuring out what I was going to do, like probably do a few workouts, and then like I would stretch again and go in the sauna. And now I'm like, I pick 3 machines, or like I'll do a full body dumbbell workout. And that's what it is. And I'm out. I'm just back. I'm like, I probably just got a little bit hot, but just letting my body know and reminding it like, girl, we're still here. You need to still upkeep.
Yeah, that's such a good idea because like, it's like I said, like if I don't have, like, I'll look at it and like, be like, oh, I only have an hour and a half, or, oh, I don't have time to like lift weights. And I'm like, I'm just not going. Like, it's not.
Yeah, because like you said, you were prepping.
Yeah.
So like what a workout is, like, girl, I've
It's
even
like
gone
8 different workouts, 3 sets each,
Yeah.
you know, like,
and that's what you're used to. So
Yeah.
anything less, you're like, what am I even doing here?
yep.
But you have to kind of look at it as like eating your vegetables.
Mhm.
Like, it's not always going to be pretty and nice. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
And I really do encourage you to just try and show up for yourself, even if you have that much, because it'll teach your brain.
Yeah.
And then you'll want to go, and then
Yep.
you'll start prioritizing it. And
it's so easy when it's a priority, you know? It's so easy.
Even if you have to sit and stretch, I've just done that, or walk the treadmill. I'm like, that's all I have in me today.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Yeah, because it gets to that point to where you're like, if I don't go to the gym, I don't feel good.
Yeah,
or
and
like
it's been a week, and then you're like, I feel like garbage.
Yeah.
And then you start Googling liposuction.
Yeah. I start calling my plastic surgeon, and I'm like, I need a consult.
You're like, I need 360 lipo right now.
Another question is, do you meal prep, or how do you prepare for meals for the week to make sure that it's easier to make healthier choices with your busy schedule? I saw your story the other day. You did a shout out to Maven Prep. I still need to try her stuff. I know that's one of your go-tos, but what else do you do?
I have tried a lot of prep places. It turns people off because some of them are not really great. Because yes, it's cleaner food, but it's not all. It's just very bland and vanilla. I really like My Vision Nutrition, because one, it's a lot of the products, they can make them like dairy free, which I have a dairy allergy, and they're macro friendly. It's one of my clients, so she just brings them to me, but they also deliver.
Yes.
So that's like something I do in a pinch. So that day I didn't have any food, and I texted her because I was like, I have 4 clients. I'm gonna not eat today.
Yeah.
Please bring me food.
Yeah.
And so she brought me some meals, but on Sundays and Wednesdays, I set time aside to prep food, and that's like the farthest I can go. Some people will prep for the whole week. I personally can't do it because I won't eat it.
Yeah. It sits there for a while. Yeah.
No. Even like 3 days is pushing it. I hate to be that person, but I think that is great. And I feel like if you're going into meal prepping, some big tips are get some cute and realistic Tupperware. I feel like we all go for that black kind of...
The black bottom with the clear top.
And those are trash. They're probably not healthy for you.
Yeah, well, you're probably ingesting like so many microplastics, right?
Yeah, like you're not supposed to microwave those, and people still do. The lids end up cracking. They get stained and nasty. So like I would invest in it. There's like these really cute glass like interlocking ones that Rubbermaid makes, and it's just like different like depths, and they have the same lid, and I just love it.
Yeah, I think I got I don't know how many counts, but it was like a variety. So there's like little circle ones, little square ones, like bigger ones.
Yeah.
And it's by Pyrex, and I think I got it from Costco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you feel excited about it, and then you get
it's like a new gym outfit.
Exactly. And you get the little side cups for the sauces, and you just like a whole thing, and then you need like a bat. It just becomes a thing. And you make, like at my office I have a little fridge, so I just make sure that they're going to be there. And it also helps with my partner Devin, because he will be at home and come for lunch. So like economically it makes so much more sense, because he likes my food better than he could just go to like Chipotle. And even the kids, like if I'm not feeling great and I don't want to cook dinner, which I love cooking dinner, I love cooking, I can just quickly just heat this up really quick and give it to them. And I love that because they're exposed to that food, so they're not like, I'm not eating this. They know they have to eat their vegetables first, and then they get the good stuff after. But the baby, not so much. We have to really chop things up, but he'll eat it.
I feel like with babies also, it's like very aesthetic. Like if it looks good or cute or fun, then they're all about it. Like throw some vegetables and a smiley face, you might have a better...
Exactly. One thing too, this is kind of off subject, but fruit snacks, like things I do with the kids to kind of motivate them to stay healthy, is like things that they like, but we'll make a healthy version. And then they love it so much that they don't even care what they ate because they were part of making it.
Yeah.
So we've made fruit snacks. You literally just have you make fruit snacks before? Yeah, it's so easy. You just have the mold and you like
you juice the vegetables.
Yeah, get the tray and all of it.
Yep.
And like, you know, you can use beets and oranges, carrots, apples, and they love it. And they don't taste that great.
Yeah.
They don't, but they are like, ooh, these are good. We made them. Like they're ours. But I know if I bought them from the store, they're like, I don't like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're like, this is gross because they don't taste very
sugar.
sweet. Yeah, because we sweeten them with like honey or something or maple syrup or something. And they love them. But if this was in a bag from the store, I'd be like, this isn't very good.
Yep.
It's too much carrot.
Yep.
This is a carrot snack.
Yep. My daughter freaked out about me changing our ketchup because of all the sugar that's in ketchup.
Yeah.
Nope. You know, she was like,
Sugar's
this
everywhere.
tastes disgusting. And I'm like, but it's better for you. And, you know, going back to your son and like consciously knowing like, oh, I don't want this. Lil is the same way. Like she'll like all of a sudden like she's like picking up things and she'll like read the back of the label and I'm like, look at you, girl. Because same thing, like I can't ingest a lot of different things. And so I started looking at the back of labels and so now she's doing it too.
That is so cute. Yeah.
And she loves working out with my husband. Like she'll go and sit, like we have a portable sauna. She started doing ice baths with us this past summer. Like she's into it.
So badass.
Yeah, she loves it.
Do you do ice baths?
I do.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love.
I only do it during the summer. You're not going to catch me out there right now.
She's like, not right now.
No.
I love that so much.
Yeah, she's so good. Okay, any last minute things that you would like to tell anybody or everybody? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so we're actually rebuilding our website, but our Instagram is Body Sweet Denver. Body Sweet as in SUITE, not sweet.
Check the merch.
I know.
Yeah,
do you
like
got
this? Merch. I do. Cute. That is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's super cute.
You had hats, right?
Yeah, I have some hats. Oh, they came out cute. I got like the soft dad hat. I love them. They actually like are really cute. Like,
yes, I can't wait till they go for sale.
My son wanted me to like say hi. So hi, Cameron and crew. He's so good. He loves podcasts.
Yeah,
he does.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we listen to them in the morning, and so he was like, "That is so cool.
Can
you say hi?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah."
Yeah. Oh, I
love that.
Yeah. I'm glad I asked. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yes,
I appreciate it, and thanks so much for listening in. And we will talk soon. Bye, guys.
All right, mamas, that's what I have for you on today's episode. If you've liked what you've heard, please tag me on your Instagram stories at Brandy Ververs. That way we can continue to grow and empower more mamas to live their best life. See you next time.